Everyone thinks they know Leon Prater's plan. They think he's just another rich guy obsessed with serial killers, hosting creepy dinner parties for attention. But that's not the plan, that's the cover. Because Prater's real plan isn't about collecting killers, it's about owning one. And his target? Dexter Morgan. Let's dive into it. Leon Prater doesn't kill for pleasure. He collects those who do. His dinner parties are not social events, they're psychological experiments. Around that marble table sit people who have ended lives, and the man hosting them sees himself as their conductor. Everyone sees Leon Prater as the charming billionaire, donating millions, smiling at galas, shaking hands with politicians. But that's not philanthropy. That's camouflage. Every public appearance is another layer of protection, another mask to hide what he really is. Dexter used his job at Miami Metro to hide in plain sight. Prater uses his wealth. The difference? Dexter's cover was about survival. Prater's is about domination. He doesn't fear exposure. He controls it. He sponsors crime prevention programs while secretly funding the very monsters those programs are meant to stop. That's not irony, that's strategy. Because when the world thinks you're saving it, they never suspect you're the one pulling the trigger. Peter Dinklage once said in an interview, Prater has never committed a violent crime himself. Notice that phrasing, himself. It's careful, intentional. It doesn't rule out that he's ordered, funded, or even covered up dozens of murders committed by others. Prater's fascination with killers is more than curiosity. It's a craving for control. Every serial killer at his table represents a personality type he wants to understand and manipulate. But there's one type missing, the righteous killer, the one who kills for a reason. And that's why Dexter Morgan is more than a target. He's a missing piece. What do you give the man who already owns every killer in the world? You give him the one he can't control. To Leon Prater, Dexter isn't a threat. He's a concept. The Bay Harbor Butcher represents order within chaos. Every killer Prater studied kills for lust, ego, or compulsion. Dexter kills for balance. And that makes him the ultimate contradiction. A man whose evil exists to destroy evil. Prater sees in Dexter something almost divine. A god who passes judgment through blood. But gods threaten men like Prater. So what do you do when you can't surpass a god? You corrupt him. That's Prater's obsession. He doesn't want Dexter dead, he wants to break him, to prove that even the most disciplined killer can be rewritten. Leon Prater and Dexter Morgan are the same species of predator. They just evolved differently. Both crave control, precision, purpose. Both operate behind masks. The only real difference is that Dexter still believes in good and evil. Prater doesn't. To Prater, morality is a man-made leash. He cut his years ago. Dexter kills to quiet his darkness. Prater kills, or orchestrates killing, to prove he's above it. It's a mirror image, one shaped by guilt, the other by ego. And when two mirrors face each other, how long before one shatters? We've all seen it. Prater owns Dexter's original blood slides. Bought these from an FBI agent with a gambling problem. That line isn't just chilling, it's revealing. Think about what that means. Those slides were supposed to be evidence, locked in federal storage. For Prater to get them, he had to know where they were, who had access, and who was desperate enough to sell. That's not obsession, that's infrastructure. He's not a collector, he's a network, a web of corruption that reaches into law enforcement itself. And those slides? They're not trophies, they're leverage. Each one represents proof that the Bay Harbor Butcher wasn't James Dokes. And Prater knows it. He's holding Dexter's secret in his hands. And he's waiting for the right moment to play it. You ever wonder how a man like Leon Prater funds a network of serial killers without raising alarms? He doesn't use offshore accounts or dark web transfers. He hides everything in plain sight. Charity foundations, art investments, even humanitarian projects. Each donation is a transaction. Each consultant in his companies could be a killer paid under corporate cover. He's turned murder into a business model. While Dexter worked crime scenes, Prater built them, with investors, accountants, and PR managers who never realized what they were really laundering: blood money. Because when evil looks like enterprise, no one calls it evil, they call it genius. Leon Prater's real weapon isn't violence, it's intellect. He studies behavior the way Dexter studies blood. Every move Dexter makes is predictable, measurable, and, to Prater, exploitable. He doesn't just observe killers, he provokes them. His dinner parties are designed to push boundaries, to see who breaks first. He brings out their confessions like a therapist, except his therapy ends in murder. Now imagine that mindset turned toward Dexter. He knows Dexter's weakness isn't his dark passenger, it's his code. That voice of Harry in his head that says killing can be moral. That's what Prater wants to destroy. Because the moment Dexter breaks his code, he's no longer special. He's just another animal. And what better way to break a code than by rewriting it? See, here's the part everyone overlooks. Prater doesn't need to lay a finger on Dexter to destroy him. All he has to do is change the narrative. Imagine it. A single leak, a whisper to the right journalist, a Bay Harbor Butcher documentary produced by one of Prater's media companies. Suddenly, Dexter isn't a myth, he's content. That's Prater's genius. He doesn't just manipulate people, he manipulates stories. He controls perception. He knows that if you rewrite the story, you rewrite reality. And Dexter? He's always depended on silence. The moment the world starts talking about him, his power crumbles. So maybe Prater's true weapon isn't intellect or influence. Maybe it's the media itself. He doesn't expose Dexter because exposure is too easy. He owns Dexter's story, twists it, sells it back to the world as entertainment. And that's the ultimate humiliation. Because what's worse than being hunted? Being turned into a brand. This might be the most chilling part. Prater doesn't just want Dexter to fall. He wants him to evolve into something useful. What if Prater's plan is to turn Dexter's moral compass into a weapon for himself? To convince him that killing for justice is no different than killing for profit, as long as the bad guys deserve it. It's manipulation disguised as mentorship, a twisted version of what Harry did. Imagine Dexter being given a target, told he's serving justice, only to realize the person he killed was innocent. That moment, when his knife trembles and his code collapses, that's the moment Prater wins. Because once you break a man's morality, you own him. But what if that's not even the endgame? What if Prater doesn't want Dexter at all, but someone else? Harrison, Dexter's son, the perfect successor. Think about it. Prater's old. His network, his empire of killers. It needs a future. And what better heir than a boy born with the same darkness, but without the guilt that slowed his father down? Harrison has already killed. He's impulsive, emotional, and desperate for belonging. Everything Dexter once was, but rawr. To Prater, he's not a risk. He's potential. If Prater can shape Harrison's sense of justice early, he doesn't just get another killer, he gets loyalty. He gets a legacy. Dexter might be the current masterpiece, but Harrison, he's the future franchise. And if Harrison becomes what Prater envisions, what happens to Dexter? Let's be honest, Dexter's biggest weakness has never been his urge to kill. It's his need for control. Prater knows that. He mirrors it. Every element of his network, every killer he collects, feeds his ego the same way Dexter's code feeds his own. That's why Prater doesn't hunt Dexter with violence. He hunts him with temptation. He gives him power, information, tools, makes him feel like they're working toward the same goal. And when Dexter finally realizes he's just another pawn, it's too late. The genius of Prater's plan isn't that he outsmarts Dexter. It's that he makes Dexter think he's winning. But every hunter knows, when the prey stops running, that's when the real trap closes. So what's Leon Prater's real plan? It's not revenge. It's not curiosity. It's legacy. He's creating a system that can outlive him. An organized, global structure of killers that can operate under the illusion of justice. Every city, every contact, every loyal recruit like Harrison. It's the industrialization of murder. Dexter isn't just a part of it. He's the prototype. The Bay Harbor Butcher's precision, his discipline, his ability to rationalize evil. Prater is replicating it, turning Dexter's curse into a curriculum. And when the time comes to reveal it, to expose Dexter's secret, or perhaps even pass it on to Harrison, Prater gets everything he's ever wanted: control over chaos. Because to Leon Prater, killing isn't about death, it's about design. In the end, Leon Prater isn't Dexter's enemy, he's his reflection. The man Dexter could have become if he'd used his darkness for ambition instead of order. And that's what makes him so terrifying, because Dexter can't kill what he understands, and Prater knows that. So maybe Prater's real plan isn't to destroy Dexter at all. Maybe it's to make Dexter see himself and realize he was never the predator, just another specimen in Leon Prater's collection. After all, how do you defeat someone who knows exactly how your darkness works? You don't? You just hope he doesn't decide to collect you next. If you thought Leon Prater's plan was dark, wait until you see our next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.